Hello, welcome, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this. I am your host, Kaz, and today I'm here to bring you Episode 2 of Fighter Jet Roundtable Tournament Season 2. I am very excited to actually tell you we have a little bit of a themed episode today. Not exactly a sponsored theme, but it is a theme nonetheless. You see, we have many people who enjoy Ace Combat games and other such things, and as a result, we've received several different designs inspired or, ripped off from the Ace Combat series. And I tried to grab as many of those aircraft as we had in the submissions, and we're going to pit them together and see which one comes out on top. Are you ready? Because I sure am. Let's go ahead and get down to the watchtower on the round table and see what we have for all of you all today. And so we're back at the watchtower to take a look and see what we've got. First off on Team A over here, we have the F-22D4 Delta Raptor sent in by Android Elite. A beautiful recreation of the F-22, if I do say so myself. While the F-22 is not an Ace Combat aircraft in and of itself, many protagonists in the Ace Combat series have seen fit to fly the F-22, and in this case, the one that we are deciding to have represented today is Mobius 1. I actually went and got the emblem and turned it into a flag specifically for this. Android, I hope you don't mind. So, this aircraft is also sporting a slightly custom texture. That's gold. Normally it's blue. I did that myself because the gold looks awesome. But coming down here, we take a look. It's sporting pulse lasers, meaning it's going to be a nasty gunfighter. And while it is difficult to actually see it, down here you can see that it's got a little internal weapons bay using one of those internal bomb racks, rotating bomb racks, which is really, really cool. Really very cool indeed. There's not much else to say about this other than the fact that it is one of the first aircraft to be using exclusively the F-119 turbofan engines from the B9 pack, which were recently rebalanced to be made, well, much more effective and competitive compared to other engines of similar weight classes, etc. So that being said, let's go ahead and see what the Delta Raptor is going to be fighting, shall we? So over here on Team B, we have the ADFX-01 Cypher and the ADFX-02 Pixie sent in by Electro Halo. Clearly, these are inspired by the Morgan aircraft from Ace Combat. You can tell by the design, the wings. That being said, let's go ahead and get in here. These aircraft are virtually identical in every way except for their weapon loadouts. I didn't have the proper emblem for these, so I just slapped some typical FJRT2 swag on the side. Hope you don't mind. That being said, down here we have the MPBMs with their brand new TNT mass equivalent of 420. Looks like we're going to have some high-flying fun over here. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at that. So it's got your typical loadout of Sidewinders here. It's got some AIM-120s, and of course the MPBMs. MPBMs are very big, very blasty, very nasty missiles. Easily capable of taking out an aircraft. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Pixie over here, though, since it's not carrying the MPBMs. This is using the same missile loadout, but rather than the MPBMs, it is sporting the TLS pod. Tactical laser system, which which Pixie used in the finale of Ace Combat Zero, fighting against Cypher, his old friend. Very, very cool looking designs, very interesting, very thin, oddly enough. Doesn't really feel like it has much substance to it. Either way, let's see which one of these two aircraft are going to get into the number one spot to fight our next winner. And here we are, set and ready. Let's go ahead and start the competition. And yes, Android, before you worry, I made sure to do the special spawning thingy for those, so their gear was fine. I just had to, extend the gear for pretty, for explanation purposes. But don't worry, your stealth factor will be intact, I promise. That being said, Kaz is now going to shut up while these two aircraft get into position and begin to blow the crap out of each other. And the competition is underway. Cypher and Pixie are very slow in their craft over there. Meanwhile, the Delta Raptor is unloading with a metric ton of missiles. Getting ready to, looks like it's going to blast them with AIM-120s and AIM-120Ds. Just unloading every imaginable kind of missile. Oh, and Cypher gets hit. Oh, Cypher getting wailed on. And Cypher's down. Pixie, on the other hand, is doing his utmost to stay around. Let's go ahead and switch to him. See how he's doing. So here we are, Pixie coming in. AIM-120s and other missiles launching. He's got a cloud of missile death heading his way. He's going to have to try and avoid. Looks like one of the Delta Raptors did actually get hit. Didn't see by what. Missile, obviously. And that TLS opening up on the unharmed Delta Raptor. That TLS is a dangerous, dangerous thing. But we can tell the other Raptor, though lost parts, is still... Oh! And Pulse Laser coming from the intact Delta Raptor, absolutely annihilating Pixie there. Solo Wing Pixie does not appear to be doing quite well today. Looks like Mobius 1 also wound up being a little overzealous. But either way, I think we have a winner for that round. Both craft died, but in that case, the first one to die, and not due to damage done by... the other one died due to slamming into the ground. I'm not calling that a tie. That was very clearly a victory for Mobius 1. Let's go ahead and get into round 2. So here we are for round 2. Let's get these aircraft into the sky. I just hope the ADFXs are definitely the slower of the two fighters. Very, very slow, comparatively, despite the fact that they are running with 2 Saturn engines. Very, very hefty aircraft, those ADFXs. Not the most nimble either. That being said, I'll go ahead and be quiet, at least until I can get them into competition range. Looks like they're having a little bit of difficulty staying together, but we will see. That being said, Kaz is zipping it until this gets going. And the competition has started. Luckily, I didn't have to push the big button to get it to go itself. They seem to be kind of lazily going, but I gave them a little more time. Once again, the Delta Raptors getting their shots off first. Looks like, not sure what that actually is there. Looks like, I don't honestly know. Can't tell. But it didn't really matter. Cypher once again getting obliterated. Oh, Pixie now once again by himself. This looks like this is going to be a repeat of the first round. Either way, let's go ahead and get behind Pixie. Once again, Pixie here by him. He doesn't need wings where he's going. He's solo wing Pixie after all. Sadly, I would have to say that having more than one wing would certainly have helped there. Nonetheless, I think it's pretty safe to say we have a winner for this round. The one that will be moving on is the F-22D Delta Raptor, aka Mobius 1. So here we are for the second round of fights of this episode, and, let's get to that first, shall we? So let's go ahead over here. This, on Team B, is The Guy Just Can Suck It, sent in by Ace Verco, the one who won FJRT Season 1 with his AFN. So, here we go, sitting over here. This is basically an attempt at a recreation of The Gyges. Basically an escort for, the plane known as the Igaion, which was it was basically a giant flying aircraft carrier. That's basically what it was. Anyway, but yeah. So he's made two of these. They are... The only non-competition legal part of it is that they are 150 parts each, which is quite high. However, me being the guy that I am, look at this friggin' thing. I had to try it, alright? That's a bit of a challenge. Either way, it fits the theme, so we're gonna have to see how it goes. Doesn't really necessarily matter what it's outfitted with. As far as special weapons, it's got a laser in the front, TLS, little GAU-22 down there, and in addition to that, it's got a host of various different missiles. But I guess we'll have to see. Craft are identical, so let's go ahead and see what they're fighting. And over here, sent in by the one, the only, the legend himself, Mustache, is none other than the CFA-44 Nosferatu, also from Ace Combat 6, just like the Gyges, interestingly enough. However, they were on the same side in the game. Today, they will be fighting to see which one is the better aircraft. The Nosferatu here is packing a lot of heat. It's packing 2 EMLs. Absolutely viciously dangerous long-range death cannons. That being said, it's also carrying some very hefty HQ-9B intercept missiles, which, well, they have a similar blast capability to the MPBM, but they're sort of like the Costco version of the MPBM. They're heavier, they explode with less force, yeah. But overall, made almost entirely out of P-Wings, this really is a beautiful looking aircraft. Let's just hope it performs as good as it looks, because it's definitely got its work cut out for it over there. That being said, let's go ahead and get these two mighty titans of Ace Combat lore into the sky. So, here we are with the PC already kind of chugging. That's why I set the part limit the way that I did, but... Oh. Oh dear. Okay. We get fireworks! Isn't that fun? Well, the guy just is already starting to tell... I know it's the guy just can suck it, but there's no way I'm saying that the whole way. These are the Gyges. Either way, we'll go ahead and I'll come back in. Well, I don't know, actually. These things are huge. The CFA, I've been told, is actually, well, was fairly deadly in testing. So it'll be interesting to see how they stand up against the Titan that is the Gyges. The Gyges is also hilariously fast due to the number of engines it has, despite its mass, as we can see. Either way, Kaz is going to be quiet, and we'll cut back to when things get interesting. And competition has officially started, with the guy just being the faster aircraft. I almost expected them to... They were so large, I expected them to hit one another. But apparently not. That being said, the guy just did manage to get some locks with their AIM-120Ds, and the Nosferatus are firing their intercept missiles, which have a lot of explosive power behind them for their size. I don't foresee the guy just being able to very easily throw, well, I don't imagine countermeasures to be particularly useful, except maybe in the case of heat-seeking missiles, just because of how big they are. But I suppose we'll have to wait and see. Speaking of which, the Nosferatu is barely dodging a missile over there. Coming in, first missiles are definitely away. I want to watch the Nosferatu, at least for the first one here. So let's see this. So the guy just is out there in the distance, currently has no weapon selected. But now it's swapped to its 120Ds, which it should very easily be able to get a lock with. Speaking of which, we've got parts coming off one of the Gaijis. Looks like it's heading for the ground. Not sure what it lost. Probably some countermeasures, but it is still flying. These things are so big, their HP is quite large. Lining up with the EMLs now, trying to get shots. That looks like a miss. Getting closer here. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little. Still on the EML, we can see just the enormous size of the Gaijus. Almost with a ram. In order to avoid getting hit, the looks like the Nosferatu actually went into something of a cobra. What's the other one doing? The other one is over here in the distance, perhaps trying to get some shots off with those dual EMLs. Looks like it has a fairly clean shot. The guy just is enormous, so it should be able to get shot. Oh, we're getting shots from the other Nosferatu. Gonna go ahead and get out of fighter mode here. Nosferatu shooting at the Gaijus still. Gaijus is definitely on the defensive, although they are quite large. Meaning that it's gonna take a lot to deal damage to these things. Gaijus over there actually coming in with its laser. Not sure what this one is doing. Looks like it's circling around trying to get up. More EML shots being fired but not hitting. The EML did actually receive some balance changes, and one of the things that it did was get rid... Ooh, that guy just sucking up an EML hit. Those things hit just as hard as a missile does. Still, despite the nerfs. The main nerf, however, came in the fact that it no longer has a gimbal attached to it, so you're going to have to rely completely on the stability of your launch platform, in other words, the aircraft, in order to get much done. The TLS now shooting at the Nosferatu, and we've got another missile hit onto the Gaijus here. How's it looking? Oh, it's fine! It just has, you know, a bazillion parts that are high damage. Guy just launching a close-range missile. These things are terrifyingly nimble for how big they are. Definitely not like the real Gaijus, that's for sure. Nosferatu down here in the corner. Another close-range missile. Nosferatu again trying to hit that guy just with its EMLs, managing not to. That, however, was a direct hit to that guy just there. It is popping countermeasures as often as it can. It's getting low. Still has full chaff, and well, not full chaff, full flares for the most part. Gaijus are now both on the same side, starting to light up with the gun group, which I do believe includes a laser and the Gao-22. It's a little unstable there. It's doing its best to try and get things in its sights. I can't believe I'm going to have to run another one of these fights. What have I done to myself? Maybe there should be an upper weight limit for FJRT2. What do you guys think? Give me some feedback in the comments below, or you know, something like that. I mean, these are funny, but after all, this is about fighter aircraft, not flying carrier support platforms. That's kind of how I feel here. I don't really think the guy just has to worry about fuel. With that in mind, the Nosferatu's got about 200... Oh! That looked like a good hit. Lots of explosions coming off of that Gaijus. That's the first one. Let's go ahead and check it out here, see if we see any signs of visible damage. Negative. No signs of visible damage done to the craft. Probably blew up some missiles, if I had to guess. Maybe some countermeasures. There were definitely explosions, so something did in fact do it. Let's see how long these things have to fly. Well, almost the same amount of time as the Nosferatus do, surprisingly. Whoa! Nosferatu collision with the Gyges. The Nosferatu is not looking well. But it, hilariously enough, still looks mostly functional. I say mostly. I don't know how functional it actually is. It's still got its EMLs. One is kind of off at an angle, though. That's not good. It is crippled, but still flying. The other guy just also lost a decent chunk. Not that one. This one here lost part of its wing there. And some of its engines, which, amusingly enough, will probably give it an even more burn time on those engines. It's got uneven thrust, but not so much, I think, that's going to cause it to have many problems. This is effectively a 1v1. Honestly, I'm just going to start cutting in when things get interesting here. Both of these aircraft are starting to get very low on fuel. Yeah, in theory. Nosferatu, I think, is going to run out of fuel before the Gyges does. And this Nosferatu is out of fuel. But then again, there wasn't really much of a doubt that that thing would outlast the fuel of these. Well, that's both the Nosferatus out of fuel now. There's not a whole lot to be said, other than, well, Kaz is actually going to step in and make a judicial decision, something I have never done before in the entire history of Fighter Jet Roundtable. So, what is this judicial decision, you say? Well, as it turns out, I'm going to make a decision here based on the fact that I don't want to set a dangerous precedent here. By allowing a craft like this through into the tournament, it kind of goes against the nature of things. Number one, it already is effectively disqualified because it's over 150 parts, which is over the limit. In addition to that, it is basically a gigantic airship, which is something that's better saved for no limits. And while you could argue that it might be unfair to our good buddy Ace Verco, I do know that Ace is capable of making perfectly functional aircraft. After all, he did win last season of Fighter Jet Roundtable. So, with that being said, the Nosferatus did put up a very good, fight. But, ultimately, I have to put my foot down, and, to stop an unsafe or dangerous, a dangerous habit from showing up, I am going to say that, by default, the CFA-44 Nosferatu is moving on to the finals of Episode 2. So here we are for the beginning of the final fight of Episode 2. Let's go ahead and start the competition. We have the CFA-44 Nosferatu sent in by Mustache and the F-22D4 Delta Raptor, cosplaying as Mobius 1, sent in by Android Elite. Which one of these two planes will make it all the way? I guess we'll have to wait and find out. I do apologize for having to put my foot down like that, but I would rather take action now than set a potentially dangerous precedent for the future of the competition. That stuff is better saved for no limits than actual competition. And I know that Ace has no shortage of other designs that can be submitted. That being said, let's go ahead and cut to when things get a little more, well, fighty. And the competition has officially started. Yes, Android, trust me, your gear configuration is safe. So, Delta Raptors getting their weapons off first. AIM 120Ds, followed very shortly by the intercept missiles from the Nosferatu, which have proven to be quite deadly in testing. With the first wave of missiles gone, Nosferatu is going to have to deal with a plethora of explosive death heading its way. And one Nosferatu taken out at long range. As is tradition, we will go to the single remaining craft on the other side, since it is effectively a 1v2. And we will have to see how this is all going to play out. There we are, finally got a good camera angle. AIM 9s being launched. EML, whoa, close, very close. And that Delta Raptor soaks a missile at close range. This is automatically much more entertaining than the alternative would have been. Nosferatu trying to pull, Delta Raptor lining up with those pulse lasers. Delta Raptor lining up, pull. Ooh, we got pulse lasers going. And close. Delta Raptor definitely more maneuverable of the two fighters, getting on its tail with pulse lasers, getting ready to fire. Fire, fire. Guns, guns, guns. The wing of the Nosferatu's gone, and just like that, turned into confetti for round one of the finals. Mobius 1, Scratch 1. Here we are for round two. We've already seen this could, in theory, be anybody's fight. The Nosferatu manages to get some nice snipes with that EML. The Delta Raptor could be sent home packing. But will it turn out that way? Well, if the Delta Raptor wins this, they are the winner. The CFA Nosferatu has some, well, it has its work cut out for it. It's got to win 2 in a row. I guess we'll find out. Anyway, let's skip to the good part, shall we? And competitions start. Delta Raptors turning around, Nosferatu's turning around. Both moving to get into position. Looks like the Delta Raptors once again are the first to fire their munitions at range. CFAs are trying their best to get a good lock, but, well, the Raptors are definitely the stealthier fighters. Looks like they might be having an effective range, stealth range of perhaps, I want to say like maybe about 12 kilometers if I had to guess, ish. Either way, Nosferatu doing its best to dodge missiles. Will it manage to dodge it this time? And yes! Delta Raptors now closing in. Now that's done. This time we're going to watch from the Delta Raptors' perspectives as they line up and fire more missiles. Very cool looking missile trails there. Lining up on the CFA Nosferatu, switching to pulse lasers. Should be starting to unload at any moment. Pulse laser, dual pulse lasers coming from the other side. Let's go ahead and switch to this one, see how it's doing. It is trying to avoid terrain. Nosferatu staying high. Dumping chaff. And Nosferatu here turning, getting some AIM 9 locks, firing those infrared seekers. AIM 120Ds now also being locked. EML shot, barely missing its target. EML! Actually, no, I think that was a missile. Delta Raptor being hit hard. EML now firing And that Delta Raptor looks like it is down for the count. Almost. Not enough yaw. In fact, that engine has no yaw. However, the other one is doing its best to avenge its wingman on the ground over there. Jockeying for position. Oh, and it soaks a missile, 2 missiles, and is down. Delta Raptor and a 3rd missile finally ends that. Wow. Round 2 goes to the Nosferatu. We're going into round 3. And here we are, the final fight of episode 2. Who will come out victorious? Will it be the CFA-44 Nosferatu sent in by Mustache? Or will it be the F-22D4 Delta Raptor sent in by Android Elite, once again, cosplaying as Mobius 1? Well, all we can do is bide our time and wait till they start shooting. And competitions start for round 3. This will be the deciding fight between these two fighters. Once more, the Delta Raptors managing to get their missiles off first. If they get a kill in this first pass, it is going to be exponentially more difficult for the Nosferatu to, well, come out on top. The F-22 is indeed the stealthier aircraft, meaning it can get that first shot capability. And the Nosferatu also is not the single most nimble aircraft, meaning it'll have its work cut out for it. Here we go. Massive missile strikes. Well, missile attempted strikes, anyway. And the final missile does manage to hit. 17 parts damage due to that missile strike, but it does appear to still be flying. We are now getting even more missiles launched from the Delta Raptors. Let's go ahead and get on in here, and actually we'll take a look at the Nosferatu that got hit by that missile, see how it's doing. Looks like it has taken some damage. Its frontal canards look a little lacking there. I know, frontal canards is technically a little redundant. EML's firing. Nosferatus have the Delta Raptors pinned. And a missile hit on the Delta Raptor. Delta Raptor hitting the ground, it looks like. Yep, that is a down Delta Raptor. That is officially down. We're gonna hit the big red button to drop that. Solo Delta Raptor, no engine capability. And that's an EML kill. And, ladies and gentlemen, that means your winner for episode 2 is the CFA-44 Nosferatu, sent in by Mustache. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, I have been Kaz. This has been episode 2 of Fighter Jet Roundtable Season 2. And I hope to see you all in episode 3 and beyond. But until then, happy building and happy blasting.